That's it. We're not winning the Super Bowl. I mean, this team is terrible. We need to trade for Tyreek Hill back. We need to trade for L'Jarius Sneed back. Sign Christian Wilkins. I don't care that he kissed his teammate. Sign Justin Simmons. Convince Tyrann Mathieu to come out of retirement. And heck, while we're at it, we just got to convince the jury to let Rashee Rice play football again early because this team just needs everything. This is the Week 1 Overreactions episode, guys. The classic thing for NFL fans to do is the entire season is dictated by Week 1. Well, if we look back last year, Week 1, the Saints were good at football. So clearly, there's a lot of things that could change in the course of even next week. But as always, this is Talkin Chop. There is some legitimate concerns over our loss with the Chargers. But that being said, we have a special guest today that's actually just always with us in the background. You don't know. Our associate producer, Jackson Steele, is here, and he is ready. Jackson also now has the ability to literally put himself on the screen. And he's muted.
Let's go. For all of our Spotify listeners, he just did a wonderful introduction for himself while still muted.
Hey, it was only for me to hear, so sorry, guys.
But yeah, Garrett and I didn't get to watch the game. Jackson did. Me and Garrett definitely rewatched what we could in the week, but we've had a pretty busy week because brutally, Garrett, we both had to work high school football. But how did your Blue Valley North Mustangs do in their debut game for high school football for you?
We played physical. We talked to the boys a lot when it comes to preparing for games, right? And obviously, the way football goes, some things don't go your way. The football gods can be cruel and tides can turn, momentum can swing. And, we kept it close for a long time. And then, just the wheels start to fall off. And, we teach them how to come back after, a grueling week 1, which could, correlate to what we're looking up at the higher levels and with the Chiefs football as well. It's like how to bounce back from a week 1 loss, right? So that's kind of like building on stacking practices, making sure everything that we do builds on to the next, right? So I'm assuming that's what we're doing up at the higher levels as well, is like, sure, it was, are we expecting to win every single game? Yes. We have a former Chiefs player on staff for our high school as well, and he talks all about, we go out there prepping to win every single game. The expectation is to win. And when that doesn't happen, right, you have to look at that self-reflection. You have to look back. And going forward, how do we proceed and how do we succeed better at what we, failed to do in the game?
Damn, Garrett. It's a lot of coach speak there. It's a lot of wisdom there. It's a lot of what we need to tell the boys on the Chiefs because we should get into that game for sure. But let's talk about the big glaring problem from that game that is uncontrollable, and that's quite frankly Xavier Worthy got injured in 3 plays, off the gate.
That's just probably the most unfortunate part about that old Friday night game. It's just those are things you can't look forward to seeing as an offensive staff and in the game plan. You don't plan for your number 1 guy to get injured first couple plays of the game. So that obviously threw everything for a loop. Maybe we were intending to run the ball more than 10 times had Xavier Worthy stayed healthy, and we had to throw a bunch of guys out there who maybe weren't quite ready, but that was a really brutal loss to start the game.
Absolutely. Well, it didn't get much better, but before we get into everything that was happening, guys, we got to do some of our sponsored segments. Garrett's a little sick today. I'm going to point out right now, Jackson's a little sick today too. I'm the only healthy one who survived this weekend, but the Chiefs really just beat it out of you, Garrett, I guess, because you're really sick, but yes. You got time for some promos for us, right?
Oh yeah. Just always, a quick one, baby. As always, got to thank our sponsors, got to pay the bills, as David put it last week. Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. We do have a new code. I know you guys are putting the G in Talkin Chop, so we changed it. We got it shortened. Use code CHOP now for a free $50 whenever you play and pay $5. Underdog's been really good this year. They're expanding their business. They got a whole bunch of new lines. If you follow the Instagram, you guys see my picks before the game every single week. We try and get those out. But use code CHOP. And the old codes still work. Just remember, there's no G. It's Talkin Chop. Or, nice and easy, use code CHOP.
You know what's funny? I actually did tell them, can we have the Talkin Chop code with the G in there too, in case somebody misspells it? So if you want to be that way, do it. But I haven't tested that one.
Respect the show. There's no G. Keep the G out of it, baby.
I think you just gotta emphasize the N more.
Talkin.
Talkin.
Do I gotta get that little
Talkin.
Boston-y in there? A little
Yeah.
talkin'?
Christopher Walken Talkin Chop.
Exactly.
That's like is that dating us? No, that's not at all. That's
That is such a reference. That is such a reference.
What,
Where did you pull that out from? Yeah.
Christopher Walken. Yeah, dude.
God. We're off the rails already.
It's no 6'7" though, Garrett. As Jim Nantz said it. He said it in.
Dude, stop bringing it up. Stop
Jim
it.
Nantz said it. He said it in the
I don't
broadcast.
care.
It wasn't.
so
I feel like
funny.
it was almost every single broadcast this weekend from college to NFL.
Yeah, I've
like-
never seen.
They're like, it might be a 6 or 7
7.
yard game, 6, 7. Oh my! I hear it so much at the high school level. I don't need to hear Jim Nantz saying it on Sunday.
Before we
Don't
get
need it.
Oh God, who's they're doing the Big 12 preview for Iowa State this weekend on Big 10. Oh God, who was it? Someone said.
Oh, was it
Yeah,
Dave
I like-
Portnoy? Dave
It might-
It's
Portnoy.
probably
Yeah, I
Dave
think it was
Portnoy,
Portnoy.
dude.
They're
I hate
highlighting
how he
Iowa
exists.
State's tight end, and they go,
Whoa, that's
7.
bro's a big Dave Portnoy hater. Hate how he exists. That's diabolical.
Listen, I almost when I was like trying to join a student org, they didn't think I was real because they thought I was just someone who put Dave Portnoy as a joke because he was bigger than I guess. But dude, he has negative ball knowledge, man. I remember when he said Mac Jones is better than Josh Allen, and I was just like, dude.
Well, yeah, but he's a Patriots fan though. Like you kind of
Okay,
have to be
but-
a homer when it comes to that, you know.
I just don't like people who do takes just for attention. So let's do some of our own. How shall we?
Fact, dude, it's a great transition.
Yeah. Also, if you couldn't tell at the top of the show, it was mostly jokes. Also, I'm going to cover Jackson for 2 seconds. Actually, no, I don't. We can bring him back.
Aw.
But Mozzie Smith, I put this out last week. Apparently, Cowboys fans hate him. I get it, but he's a first round pick. Like, he's got to have some talent. And our friend Mike Pennel, friend of the show, he went off week 1 and we don't have him anymore. He's on the Bengals. I'm going to look up the stat real quick because I did put it down in my notes. Usually Jackson does it, but actually, Jackson, you can do it because you're here. Why don't
I
you
think he
tell
had
us
like
what
a
Mike Pennel did?
20.1% run stop rate, something like that.
Why don't you let
right?
Jackson do it, Garrett? Why don't you let Jackson do
I
it?
gotta find it. Did you put it in the notes?
I did. I
Oh,
have
you
it.
did. Yeah, the highest stop rate amount. All D linemen this week at 19%.
Highest stop rate. And all those Veach truthers, I'm sorry, guys. Veach is human. He can make mistakes. I don't get
that was a mistake.
I don't get how not every single person. It was like about like a 30% about people were like, everything Veach does is amazing. Mike Pennel is washed. Mike Pennel is old. Mike Pennel sucks.
They're
Veach
like, you
did
guys
this for
just
a
don't
reason.
understand that. You know, this is just an under the radar Veach Steele swap. You know, it's just goaded, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, the reality of the situation is, Veach's plans had Mike Pennel in them. Mike Pennel knew that Naughty was coming, and he told him about it. And they said they needed depth, but Veach wanted to do the classic, I'm cutting you, putting you on the practice squad, and bringing you back up so that I could stash a rookie on IR. And you know what Mike Pennel said? That's not cool with me. That costs me $1 million. And also, that's just kind of disrespectful to a starter. Bye, I'm going to go sign with the Bengals now. And he did.
He balled
did.
out.
I
He balled out.
tried to tell him, but he said, nope, I'm going to the Bengals. So gosh dang it, guys. Like, you gotta admit, like, Veach, it's a people business. You can't disrespect people, man. People have feelings.
And then already struggling interior rush defense as well as a depth issue, kind of dropping your veteran guy that's been the starter all throughout camp, all throughout like the end of the season last year, and pretty much almost going into week 1. Really not a smart move.
Yeah, well, we're going to need defensive tackle depth. I guarantee you that we're going to make a move for a defensive tackle at some point in the season. I'm okay with sending a 7th round pick to the Cowboys for Mozzie Smith if they'll give it to us. I mean, we wanted to draft him over Felix in that Kansas City draft in Kansas City, but Cowboys took him. They didn't do a trade with us, and we got Felix.
Yeah,
I saw someone in the chat say that would be a perfect swap. Actually, it would be Felix for Mozzie straight up, and I was like, yeah, based on what we need, but I don't
feel
know. I
like
like
this
Felix.
kind of has, I feel like this kind of trade has Veach written all over it too. He loves to like go after these really underperforming first round picks of the past and just kind of throw out a bone and see if they stick, right? Like we've seen multiple times throughout, the last 5 years him doing the same. I'm probably just sick blanking on the name of the cornerback that
DeAndre
we
Baker. Mike Hughes.
DeAndre Baker, Mike Hughes. Yep.
There's so many, honestly. I guess
It's very, very, very Veach classic. Just going after those, underperforming first rounders. So I could see it happening. Is it a sure thing? Definitely not. But
bro, someone when I pointed that out in the comments, someone brought up a name that I kind of forgot about, but Taco Charlton was one of those former first round busts we brought in.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't even really did he even have a snap? I don't think he did.
He played. He made it on the roster, but they suck. It's a problem.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing him out on the field in one game at least.
Well, and Emmanuel Ogbo was one of the few times it worked, like former first round pick that we traded for that ended up working and became a star with us. And then we let him go because he got injured. But yeah, I mean, I'm willing to take
Mike
a crapshoot.
Hughes had a couple of good games as well.
He did.
For what we gave up, I think the value was there.
And I think DeAndre Baker could have been good, but I just think he got injured too, and it's just hard. A lot of the time too, it's these players aren't good because they get injured. But yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say, could totally see this player being on the Chiefs in the future. Something similar is like if Jeff Okudah keeps kind of really underperforming, I could totally see Jeff Okudah being a Chief.
I could too, until I saw him with the Vikings, and he looked really good on the Vikings. Well. So I mean, but I would like Jeff Okudah, but I think our corners now are. Well, some people would disagree. I think the depth is there. Noah Williams needs more playing time, but we could get into that. Let's get into that because one more thing. What do we think about this, Garrett? The most recent time Kansas City has dropped 41 points was September 24th, 2023. It was against the Bears. We scored 41, they scored 10. This was actually, funny enough, the first time Taylor Swift ever made a Chiefs game appearance. And now she's engaged to Travis Kelce. So it's been that long since we have scored 41 points. The Bills and Ravens did it. Well, not the Ravens. If the Ravens scored 41 points, if Tyler Loop made his extra point. But I digress. The Bills and Ravens are doing it. Lots of teams are doing it. We haven't had to because we've had good defenses in the past. Can this defense stop Lamar and Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry had like 180 yards at age 32 or 33 or however old he is now. Like, the difference between us and those teams though is they just have a really good run game and we don't run the ball. And we are going to talk about that in the Chargers analysis, but we don't run the ball.
Yeah, I feel like we have the ability to run the ball, and I for whatever reason, I feel like every single game, and this was including last year, I feel like we started off with some really good runs. We're averaging, I think, was around 4.1, 4.2 yards a carry total across, the running back carries. And if just for whatever reason we get away from what's working on the ground, right? We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but we had
talk about it now.
We'll talk about it now. We had 10 running back carries the entire game. 10. In an NFL football game where one of the most undervalued factors when it comes to winning football games is time management and the clock, right? I think I saw we had 27 minutes and the Chargers had 32 and a half or something like that. That is major discrepancy in total time holding the football, right? And that can be attributed to them, having these long extended drives and, continuously moving down the field in tandem. Obviously we had predicted in the last episode that it was probably going to be a more run-heavy game, especially on both sides of the ball. Complete opposite. I don't think our game plan was necessarily to go out in there and sling the rock, 49 true drop back pass times. But obviously they saw something on the field mid-game that said, okay, whatever we were working on throughout the last couple of weeks is not going to work. We need to change what we need to do, and we need to adjust based on what they're showing us on defense. And whatever they thought the answer was getting away from running the ball, which honestly should never be the true answer. I thought Pacheco ran really well. I think Kareem had some opportunities to extend some runs, but other than that, I mean, you can't really gauge too much off of 10 total carries.
But yeah, you can't get a running back going. And I'll say this, what I liked about the Vikings game that I just watched on Monday Night Football, I liked the fact that freaking they split the drives. So they gave Aaron Jones his drive, and then Aaron Jones would go off, and then they would give Jordan Mason his drive. But they got the entire drive. They got to get going, and they actually handed it off to them. And both running backs had a really effective game, and the Vikings ended up winning, and they didn't stray from their game plan, even though they were getting their hand belt to ass early in the game, and the Vikings looked like, oh, JJ McCarthy's a bust, all this. They kept running the ball. They kept being patient, and then they let McCarthy fly. And that offense exploded in the second half, or in the fourth quarter even, and they won the game handedly. And it's like, we give up on the run game so fast when the plan goes down. You would think that Andy Reid, being the Hall of Fame coach he is, would love running the football more, but he just abandons it so fast. It's fascinating. It truly is. And you know what? I give him the benefit of the doubt only because Jawan Taylor, false start. Jawan Taylor, penalty. 4 penalties, dude. It's like, you can't get a drive rhythm going on. We have to pass it because we can't run the ball when we're obviously in passing situations, because every drive starts with a penalty, because we can't even snap it without a procedural
especially
penalty.
in such crucial situations as well. And we had talked about this last week as well, like Jawan Taylor was, reported to have a lot of struggles, flying to Brazil and getting prepped for the game. And there was a lot of talk about, will Jalen Moore be starting at right tackle, just due to the fact that there was a ton of fluid filling up in Jawan Taylor's knee. And I guess we decided, hey, Jawan Taylor's going to be the guy to go out there and start that game. Obviously, wasn't playing up to his full potential, and, he wasn't completely focused on the game plan at the time. Should we have started Jalen Moore and let Jawan Taylor, figure out what was going on medically at the time? World may never know, right? But I just feel like
We gave him a lot of benefit of the doubt too.
we gave him a lot of benefit of the doubt. I'm still not a Jawan Taylor, like, oh, we should boot him away infinitely right now, right? Like, I am not, you're not, we're not a week one overreactor. I kind of look at the first 3 weeks of the NFL season as like teams really figuring out like their chemistries, where they're best at, where our fits are. So anything past week 3, that's kind of where I stop giving excuses to players, because this time that's where teams really figure out like, here's the differences between our on paper team and our on the field team, right?
And that's a great way of putting it, because I mean, especially people thinking like the Ravens defense on paper is like one of the most amazing looking defenses possible in like the modern era. It allowed 41 points. Now, does that mean it's a bad defense? Potentially not, but they they looked really good through 3 quarters, and they kind of just collapsed in the end. So still could be a really good defense, but you can't, it's too small of a sample size. We went from having an assumption of how things were going to go to 1 week of sample size, 1 game of sample size. So now, of course, our projections and everything is going to change based on that. So, I mean, I think the Chargers are a great team, though. All jokes aside, like
they came out with a really good. They came out with a really good game plan. Played what they needed to do really well, and obviously Justin Herbert's a great quarterback, and he was slinging that thing around, dicing us up, and they just had a really good plan. I really like what I saw from Omarion Hampton as well.
Yeah,
he's
and they didn't even need to give it to him much.
Yeah, I mean, he still had 5 more carries than both of our backs combined. So when it comes to that.
We just need
15 carries, right? It's just, obviously, you'd love to win week 1 against, a rival, but it's just not the way the NFL goes sometimes. I mean, hey, if we look back a couple of years, we lost week 1 to the Browns, right? So
the Lions too,
right? But
no, I thought we won that Browns game because we came back in the end, didn't we? But
I could have swore we lost that Browns game.
But this is where Jackson shines, our associate producer at work. Jackson, we did bring you on a little bit, and you've kind of just been here. But you can do it.
Yeah, no, we won that game.
Really?
33.
Yeah, get flipped, Garrett.
Gosh, dude, I don't know ball anymore, man.
No, you're fine.
This is
We're
crazy.
just getting old. We did come back. It felt like we lost.
But still, we had the loss, against Detroit a couple years ago when we won the Super Bowl.
But that one's funny because Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore dropped the ball a bunch, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's the reason." That was Brian Branch's debut.
There are some years the Patriots won after losing week 1. Like
they lost to week 1 to us, and I don't know if they won the Super Bowl that year. That was 2017 because it was the Kareem Hunt amazing year.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they lose the Super Bowl in 2017? Because they lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So they made it to the Super Bowl after losing week 1 to us. But Now we're going on a tangent, but I miss prime Kareem Hunt. We have current Kareem Hunt, and
Yeah, we actually
that's
beat
cool.
both Super Bowl opponents that year. We beat the Eagles and the Patriots that year in the regular season.
In 2017 with Alex Smith and Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
And I mean that
we also lost to the Jets and the Giants in back-to-back weeks that year. So
was that the game where Kelsey threw like a deep pass in the Giants game?
I think so.
We scored like 3 points. It was like oh my gosh.
It was disgusting.
You know what's crazy to think about, Garrett? That was 2017, right? We're entering the 2025-2026 season. That was almost 10 years ago now. Like if you do some mental gymnastics. It was like 8 years ago, but still, like that's still a long time.
We have round up Patrick Mahomes era for a while now.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait till like when I'm 50 years old talking about prime Mahomes, and some kid's gonna be like, "Oh, what about John Booth?" And it's just like some bum that starts in like in 2060 or whatever.
That's your autogen name?
Just whatever name popped in my head at the time. Sounded like they could be a good quarterback.
Speaking of reminiscing on vintage Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes did look like his old self today. Friday of last week, actually. But he looked really good. I think Mahomes was the only player that exceeded expectations. He looked phenomenal. We had a drop pass by Kelsey for a touchdown that could have happened. I mean, he was slinging the rock like no other. He had a deep bomb to Tyquan Thornton that was beautiful. He had a deep bomb to Hollywood Brown. Like he looked like he was having fun out there, except he was still running for his life because on that play to Hollywood, I saw somebody post this and it pissed me off a little bit, I'll say, because they compared the pass to Hollywood Brown in 2025 and they're like, it looks like 2018 Mahomes, just like that. And I was like, look at that offensive line, because Kingsley got insta-block shed by Khalil Mack in this clip, forcing Mahomes to basically throw a Hail Mary prayer as he's getting chucked out of bounds on 4th and 9, versus in 2018, it's 1st and 10 and we're getting protected, and he's just throwing beautiful, beautiful air mail to his receivers downfield. And that is different. These are fluke plays that he's just having to make miracles.
Yeah, those kind of breakdowns in pass protection is kind of what I was referencing earlier when it comes to like figuring out the chemistries and figuring out what works for us as our team on the field, right? And I talked about it, I think it was a couple weeks ago, that I think we're going to see a lot more running back fits inside the pocket instead of like kind of protecting on the outside like they would last year with our tackles being who they were. But I just feel like we're going to figure this out, especially in the protection. Mahomes is really good at scanning the field, looking at the line, seeing where the blitzes are going to be coming from, and just the O-line needs to just settle down, figure it out. Kingsley's going to get better as the season progresses, or eventually we might see a guy like Mike Caliendo make some starts out there, right?
Ooh, that's I wouldn't hate that. I kind of forgot. He did start in the Super Bowl, so he is serviceable.
He's serviceable. I'm like I said, I'm going to wait till week 4 to really, put my thoughts down on a paper about this team and how it should progress going forward. But, it was a really good game. Chargers are a great team. I think the AFC West this year is going to be a really, really fun division to play against. We're going to have some really great games against some fun opponents. I mean, Broncos look, pretty decent. Raiders,
they won. That's big.
They won, and I was talking to a buddy about this because, we're back and forth about, Ashton Jeanty versus Travis Hunter. And he's like, well, Ashton Jeanty, had so-and-so, yards per carry. I'm like, so let's put this into perspective, right? The kid had 38 yards rushing, which doesn't sound like a lot. He had 44 yards after contact. He had more yards after contact than he did total rushing yards for the game, which is diabolical numbers. Meaning he was hitting the backfield every play. All of them. So I'm going to give the kid a break. I really love watching that kid run the football. I think the Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers are all going to give us a run for our money this year to see who tops the AFC West. Obviously, boys in red are going to eventually figure it out, but it's going to be a really fun year in terms of division rivals.
Well, on Ashton Jeanty as well, during the Iowa State Iowa game, they had shown a graphic that was the top 4 running backs last year in terms of plays where they got yards after contact. Because the number 4 guy had transferred from ULM to Iowa. He had, I think, 44. In 4th place, Ashton Jeanty at number 1 had 50 more than him.
Yeah.
Jeez. Hey, he's built for getting hit in the
Well,
backfield. I don't know, man.
And you saw what happened to Boise State in their home opener once they got
Oh my God.
Talking a little college ball, boys, because USF is for real this year. They beat Florida and they destroyed Boise State without Ashton Genty. So talking college football. But hey, let's talk back on the Chiefs. There's a couple more points with this Chargers game before we preview the Eagles game. And then we could talk about the NFL if we have time. You know, there was a lot of fun stuff to talk about week one.
Yeah.
Week one overreactions is the most fun thing ever. Taekwondo catch made me happy. And the final point here, Garrett, it looks like Mike Williams is back. His name is now Quentin Johnston. If you guys don't get the meme, it's basically Mike Williams is only good when he plays the Chiefs. And I think Quentin Johnston
balled out, man.
I saw this
really
good
post
when he plays the Chiefs.
Yeah, I saw this really funny post where it was like, people that live in Brazil must think Quentin Johnston's putting up prime Randy Moss numbers. Dude was always open to the end zone. It was crazy.
Dude, he did look really good. Like, and I'm debating in fantasy
Some
football,
really phenomenal throws from Herbert too on those.
Yeah, and Herbert played a perfect game. And it wasn't like he wasn't pressured, because George Karlaftis had one of the highest pressure rates, and I think that goes under the radar because everyone's mad about the defense. Drew Tranquill, yeah, sure, he miscontained maybe. Well, low-key, Chris Jones miscontained because he thought Drew Tranquill was spying behind him. They had a fight about that. But you can't crap on Drew Tranquill's performance. He had 2 sacks in that game. He went off 2. So, like, the defense just kind of collapsed once the offense started figuring it out towards the end, and that ended up being the difference. And I think that, honestly, we are overreacting to a game that was really close against an opponent who I think is better than the Bengals easily. And I don't feel like that's going to be an overreaction. I think the Chargers are definitely better than the Bengals, and I think the Chargers are better than
we're talking about O-line struggles, dude. The Bengals have it bad.
Then exactly,
Joe Burrow is going to get eaten alive this year.
Exactly, and like the Chargers are a complete team, and their wide receiver core, on paper and not on paper, in front of our very eyes. They don't even have to use their draft pick Trey Harris, who is supposed to have a huge season this year, and they got everybody's favorite steal, Keandre Lambert, and he doesn't have to play either because they have Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, and now QJ, a former first-round pick, might have figured it out. And even if he hasn't figured it out, doesn't matter. He's their wide receiver 3. So they got great pass catchers. We allowed Tyler Conklin to go off on us. Garrett, is that the thing, dude? Is it going to be backup tight ends again? We talked about that last year,
again,
dude.
Man.
Eric All from the Bengals went off on us. Jonnu Smith went off on us, but that was like, then he became relevant later. Every backup tight end went off on us. I forget. We had like a running list at some point, but it was basically a meme, and now freaking Jack Conklin went off against us. So what can you do?
Hey, your boy Harold Fannin Jr. went off for the Browns, though. Talking about backup tight ends.
Dude, I'm so mad that I faded him so hard in fantasy because, listen, I genuinely loved Harold Fannin so much.
To be fair, I did draft him earlier than anybody because I wanted to take him from David. But
okay,
that's besides the point.
But I faded him in like every league because I was like, it's just sometimes talent can't overcome situation. But he is a true talent, and I think he's overcoming the situation. I think the Browns just said, you know what? There aren't any good receivers left to draft right now. Let's just draft a tight end and put him at slot wide receiver, basically. And that's Harold Fannin's lined up everywhere.
And then he had 7 catches for like 60-something yards in his debut. So
yeah, with Joe Flacco throwing the rock. And, I mean, the Bengals defense. It's got Mike Pennel good, though. They shut down the run. So, hey, shout out Mike. Respectfully, you're the best player on your team. I did say the last episode, I hope Mike Pennel has 10 sacks, and I hope Trey Hendrickson has 0. But I truly do mean that in all honesty. Let's move on to the Eagles preview. Because I'm not going to lie, Garrett, for as much scared as we are talking, oh, no, we need to trade for Tyreek Hill or whatever and all this crap. Actually, before we get into the Eagles, let's talk about that. Because that's probably the biggest, talking point right now that everybody online wants to do. First off, Justin Simmons, they want to sign him as safety. If he's willing to take a vet minimum, I'm down for that, but I think we're probably going to bring up Mike Edwards soon, and I think the safeties are going to figure it out because Jaden Hicks is not going to have a bad game again. I promise you that. Justin Reed said that too on Twitter. Jaden Hicks will figure it out. Jamari Connor, he has been good before. I'm sure he's gonna find it again. And Brian Cook is coming back from an injury. He'll be fine. But listen, Tyreek Hill. If Worthy's out for a while, Garrett, do you want to bring back Tyreek Hill?
No.
Okay. That's
you know my feelings on Tyreek Hill. That he wanted the money.
Tell the podcast.
Look, he wanted the money. He can play where he is for the money. That's I talked about this when the situation happened on the podcast. It's like, dude, we gave you a really good deal. It was pretty close to what the Dolphins wanted to give you, and you said no. I'm gonna chase the bag. Well, you can chase the bag and stay where you're at, brother.
Damn.
We don't need you.
That's damn. That's crazy. Jackson, what do you want Tyreek Hill back? Like,
I would love his production back.
That's real.
Don't get me wrong. His production would be awesome, especially in the tight zone we're in right now. If he's wanting a lot of money, though,
I don't think he is. I think he's sad. Here's the thing, though. The reason I don't want Tyreek Hill back is because he just got another case, like literally 2 days ago. So, like,
well, of course he's sad, dude. It's like that old ex, right? That's like looking back at your past relationship. It's like, dude, man, we were so good back then, man. It's like he's just sitting there on the sideline getting obliterated, and he's just like, dang, I could have won 2 more Super Bowls, dude.
Yeah, he definitely could have. I mean, I still think he has it left in the tank. I still think he's good. And if he comes back, I will welcome him with open arms. I don't think we need him, though. So, I mean,
look, I will always respect Tyreek Hill for what he did. And, he's a Chiefs legend. That's nothing against him as a Chief. But the way he left, we don't need you back, brother. We don't need you back.
Well,
you know what? Somebody call, hey, they need help. Help. Okay, you on the way? Okay. Help is on the way. Help is on the way, guys. They need help. Perfect.
he said it himself, and he said we need help, Garrett. Help's on the way. Come on, Tyreek, come here, Look, it's such... I've seen the fantasy trade that everybody wants to do, and it's like, oh, just give him Jawan Taylor and a 3rd-round pick. And
just fleece him. It's so easy, dude. I could be an NFL GM. Just fleece him for Tyreek Hill. Give him an underproducing tackle and a low-round pick for a Tyreek. Oh, great. They totally accept that.
One that costs $30 million for them, too, so that they can... It's a perfect trade, frees up cap space. No, yeah. I wish it works out, but I don't think we'll need him. I think my sneaky take, everybody rushing to grab Juju Smith-Schuster and Hollywood Brown in fantasy football, grab Jalen Royals in fantasy football. I think Jalen Royals is going to be the Rashee Rice replacement we actually need, and I think he's going to ball out. Because
grab Thornton.
Grab Thornton. It's going to be Thornton and Royals, and then Hollywood's going to be... I think Hollywood's good. I just think that him...
I don't think Hollywood's going to be out as nearly as long as everyone thinks he's going to be.
What do you mean? You mean Worthy is not going to be out as long
Worthy. Sorry, Worthy. I don't think Worthy's going to be nearly out as long as everyone thinks he is.
But he's going to have that re-injury risk, Like, I'm just worried about, like, that aspect of things,
Everyone said, I watched the play a bunch of times, obviously, just like every Chiefs fan, right? It was a bad hit, but that's just like it wasn't terrible, right? Like I feel like a lot of times when it comes to like hits like that, there's an NFL doctor on every NFL sideline that has they will take players out of the game if they suspect something had a major injury head-wise, right? Think back a couple years ago, like the same thing happened to Tua, right? And he actually did have a really bad concussion, but like we heard about that almost immediately. I think he was taken out very precautionary, especially since we were in a different country, just a whole different situation when it comes to the game. Especially with what he posted on Instagram, I don't think he's going to be out.
That's a good point. He did post like the I dodged a bullet or whatever he said. Like
he'll probably be out like 2-3 weeks,
if that. He might be back in. And listen, I'm okay with. I'm okay with missing him until Rice gets back. If worse comes to worse, like I don't think we're gonna lose 6 games.
The demon time coming back at the same time, that'd be kind of crazy.
That would be insane. Like just the immediate like relief off Mahomes' back. But we need to run the dang ball so that Mahomes can actually like not have to carry the team. So I'm praying Pacheco just steps up. Sending a bunch of offers in fantasy for Pacheco, just trying to get him at a low price. Because
speaking about running the football, we are playing the run the football team,
the Eagles. Oh gosh, and we won't get the luxury of not playing Jalen Carter. Garrett, should I say this? Or are we going to look silly next week and the Eagles fans are going to clown us? But I'm not scared. I think the Eagles are not nearly as good as the team that we played in the Super Bowl, and I think that they have lots of weaknesses. And I think A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith getting shut down by the Cowboys, who are depleted as well. I don't know if I'm as scared as I would have been.
Week one
overreactions?
I think I can see where the confidence is coming from, right? But I give all the teams in the NFL the same, kind of benefit, right? It's like it's week one. Obviously, we talk about overreactions. I think the Eagles are still a really good team. I think, they're still looking at these different, positions that they have to be putting together in different spots from paper to the field. And I think, obviously, they're still going to be a powerhouse in the NFC. Are they going to have it all put together by the time we play them on Sunday? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we do, put up a show and, put up a lot of points on them and we just blow them out of the water. But
that's not happening.
I don't see that happening. Now, I know we said this last week. Obviously, we're going to see a ton of run game from the Eagles this week, especially with our interior rush defense being so depleted. I think Jalen Hurts really stole the show against the Cowboys. I think Saquon's going to put up a lot of big numbers. We just have to be able to counteract that. We have to be able to control the clock just as well as the Eagles. We have to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to, spread these guys out and make sure we take opportunities when they're given, right? There was a couple times Mahomes, you had played a wonderful game, but there were even more times where you could have connected with Tyquan deeper down the field. You could have put us in these positions, but we have to capitalize when we get these wide open receivers.
False start, Juwan Taylor. Oh, and the drive's over.
Exactly. We cannot beat ourselves. That's rule number one on every single depth chart, every single practice schedule. We cannot beat ourselves, right? Limiting penalties is going to be number one.
If Mahomes can nail his timing with Thornton down, I think that's going to really change something.
And I think Thornton's got hands too, which I was surprised. I'm used to our deep threat wide receivers dropping the ball as of late, but he had hands. Like he brought that ball in, and I loved watching it. It genuinely made me happy. But will Tyquan be on Adoree Jackson? Because that's the joke that all Eagles fans are even saying is like, target Adoree Jackson. Why is he starting for us now? Like, I don't remember Adoree Jackson being in the NFL last year. Like, I thought he was done. So it really shocked me when I saw that he was starting for an Eagles secondary that I thought didn't need him, Like, it was a surprise to me to see him out there, and then he got, torched alive. Like, I guess he did play for the Giants last year, but he only started 5 games. Like, and the Giants, let's be honest, they weren't that good.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the Eagles, even with, their star guys not getting a lot of touches, especially in a run-heavy offense, like guys like Jahan Dotson really picked up the slack.
He did. You're right.
They have a similar situation with us. Like if our star guys, are getting, doubled and, they're not getting, off the ball as easy. We have some guys depth-wise that can pick up the slack. And, like Hollywood, we didn't expect him to have a 100-yard game, and he had, 99 yards, right? So when it comes to – so we were right. So when it comes to, the game coming forward, I think defensive-wise, I think our game plan has to be, keeping them out of like the second or, third and short situations. Because that's where the Eagles thrive, is keeping these long, extended drives. I feel like especially on third down, we got to keep them out of like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situations, because that's when they start bringing out those run-heavy packages, and it just gets in these grueling, long drives where we're gonna have a ton of 4th down situations against them. We know it's going to happen. They love going for it on 4th down, especially in those short yardage situations. So I feel like that's got to be the game plan, right? We got to keep them contained within the first couple downs so we can be successful later in the downs.
I'm going to do a mini rant on that tush push too, though, dude. Like, all the people wanting to ban it because it's an overpowered play. Dude, it only works for the Eagles. Like, it only works for the Eagles. We saw the Broncos try to run it over and over again. It didn't work. Josh Allen couldn't get it done on a tush push with his team. Saw it all over the college football world, and it didn't work. Arch Manning tried it. Like, Nebraska tried it, and it didn't work. Nebraska tried it against Akron, and it didn't work. Like, the way the Eagles run the tush push is just a superior version of it, I guess. I think they just have the talent to do that, and
I mean, it helps when you have a quarterback that can squat 800 pounds.
Yeah, but Nebraska put a 6'5" tight end at quarterback, and they couldn't get it 1 yard against Akron running a tush push. Like, I think it's not a bannable play. It's just this team does it better. If you ban it, you're being like, for lack of better words, you're being a sore loser, I guess. I was going to say some more harsh language, but
I think a lot of the, unwarranted like aggression towards the play comes from it obviously being so successful. And the slight like minuscule rule that it kind of like tiptoes across the line on, and that's in relation to the neutral zone. Right?
Yeah.
If you're not a big football fan, the neutral zone is this imaginary line from one tip of the football to the other tip of the football. Sometimes you'll hear, neutral zone infraction. Like that's a major,
D forward offsides.
Right. D forward offsides, neutral zone infraction. Right. So you, as an offensive player, you are not allowed to line up inside the neutral zone. And there's plenty of times where you'll see the Eagles get down in their 4-point stance on offensive line and their helmets will be in the neutral zone, right? So it can get ticky-tacky. It just depends how the refs want to call it that time. I feel like a lot of people don't want to have it outright banned versus, they just want it officiated correctly. I think in the moment, especially with both teams having to line up so close to the football, to kind of play, run, and stop a play like that, it's going to be really hard to like officiate those really specific rules.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, hey, Jalen Carter, by the way, who was out for the Cowboys game, is going to play for this game. They said he served a suspension for the previous Cowboys game. I'm a huge fan of that, by the way.
Dude, you know what? Base Jalen Carter. That was I loved that so much. Really stick it to him, dude. I loved that. Like, I'm not like normally I'm obviously not an Eagles fan, but like that was awesome. That was the coolest thing ever.
What?
Good on you, Jalen. Like I loved it. That was just hilarious.
Well, and I'll say this. I'm glad he's not suspended for the Chiefs game for two reasons. One, I'm tired of people saying that the NFL favors us, and if they suspended him for the Chiefs game, they'd say the NFL was rigged in our favor because, of course, you're going to suspend Jalen Carter for 2 games now. But second, I always want to play a team at their full strength. I think people in the NFL like rooting for players to be hurt or players to miss time and all that stuff. Is that fun? Do you feel good? There's always an asterisk. You don't want an asterisk. You want to beat the living heck out of your opponent. Like, why? I don't want an asterisk. I want to play the Eagles for real. No. And so I'm glad Jalen Carter is playing. And I mean, we need to run the ball against them. And
also, Dak spit on him first. That's all I'm going to say.
Dak
spit at him first.
No, Dak spit on the ground though. He raged.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Garrett, do you got Legos behind you right now? I see like a clone armada.
So we got a clone armada. We got the AT, like the Clone Wars walker back there. It's super cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude. We're talking chop. We're talking bricks. We're talking this Eagles game. But we're gonna wrap the show up with a little around the NFL now because I just love talking about the NFL, man. I like, we got a lot of these opponents that we got to play.
Do we want to throw out some
season.
score predictions before we hop into the NFL?
Yeah. I'll do that. Listen, Jackson is going first.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm kidding. All right, Garrett, you could go first. Let Jackson think.
Like last week, I don't want to go like similar predictions, but I just feel like this is going to be a game that goes by really fast. The Eagles love to like just have these super long extended drives. I could see us doing something similar. The way they played us, last year, I could see them taking away those deep shots that we were successful with against the Chargers, and this becoming a really grueling long game. I don't see it being super high scoring. I can see it somewhere being like I think 24-21. I think that's a pretty good range for the game.
Mine's going to be 20-17. The Chiefs barely get it done. I think it's going to be, like you said, a grueling game, but I think there will be some explosive plays that get us excited, but I think it's going to take a comeback. I I want us to run the ball, but we're not gonna, and it's not gonna work because I don't think Andy Reid's gonna. I think he's gonna look at that paper and he's gonna see the defensive front. He's gonna see Josh Uche and he's gonna be like, "Oh, we can't run the ball against them." I'm only kidding. I bring it up because Josh Uche had a really good game, and I
Chiefs legend Josh Uche.
Well, and I expected him to have a good game because he is a good player. He's a good player. He had one tackle. He had like a high pressure rate is what I saw. But anyway, like Spags doesn't like his speed rushers that he makes Veach go trade for. But anyway, I digress. I think the Eagles are a great team, and I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be low scoring. But I want it to not be. I would love it to be a shootout. Mr. Rowan.
What about you, associate producer Jackson?
I think it's also going to be 21-24. I think it's going to be really hard in the trenches, though. I think Saquon's going to give us.
Oh, he's going to give us.
He's going to give us some trouble.
He's probably pissed that we held him to 50 yards in the Super Bowl blowout that happened, and he probably is like, "Dude, I'm gonna get 100 on these guys." Like, it's
and it's funny you bring that. It's like mentality is going to go into this game a lot, right? Like it's like especially on the Chiefs side, it's like they're going to be they've had this game circled on their calendar forever. They want to come out here and show like that wasn't what we wanted to put up in front of the world stage, right? So and obviously the Eagles, they're like, hey, we put BTA on the Super Bowl, we got to do it again, right? So
you can say ass on the podcast, Garrett. You can say belt to ass. It's
going to be a lot of mentality, and I think I agree. It's going to be a really grueling game, Jackson.
What is that? It's FDA approved, not FDA approved. What's the like broadcast code of conduct? Like you can say ass and hell on TV apparently, so you can say it on the Talkin Chop podcast, which is family friendly for all to hear. Let's talk NFL storylines real quick. Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones is literally my favorite quarterback ever. I'm only kidding, but I'm not. I have been a Daniel Jones truther for forever, and he always excites me sometimes. I totally faded him this year, though, in fantasy. I wish I didn't. But the Colts look good, dude. I've always been a fan of Shane Steichen. He's done a lot of great things when he was with the Eagles, and Shane Steichen with the Colts, he got that team turned around. He's got Tyler Warren looking good. He's got Pittman finally living up to expectations, and I mean, the Dolphins just look horrible, and the Colts just took advantage of him in every way. And
the Bears choked once again, as always. It's really funny. I had a buddy text me in the third quarter. He's like, "Dude, your backup team, the Bears, is going crazy right now." And I literally texted him. I went, "They're gonna choke. Don't worry, it happens." And immediately, JJ McCarthy decides to lock in the fourth quarter, and he's like, "You know what? Maybe I am good at football." And he decides to lock in, and they win the game. It's a classic. It happens every time.
JJ McCarthy has not lost a football game since he lost to TCU in the college football semifinals. So
that will change very soon, but that's really great for him right now. That's not how the NFL works, buddy. You're gonna learn real quick.
Other fun storylines, though. Raiders won a football game. I put that on the list. I didn't watch any of that Raiders-Patriots game. I think both teams are solid. I didn't expect either to be. Actually, I expected the Patriots to be good defensively. The Raiders on paper looked really good defensively, but it was one of those on papers where I was like, this is going to be a horrible defense, but it looks good on paper. It might be a good defense. It might be. Yep. We have to see. Obviously, a lot more football to be had. Speaking of, we have to see, are the Jets and Steelers good? Do we know, Garrett? They looked
like I said, week one. However, my boy Ricky Pearsall for the 49ers had a phenomenal game. 4 catches for 108 yards.
That is Florida the guy. Alum. That's the guy Garrett wanted to draft.
I really wanted him. I wanted him bad. I'm a big Ricky Pearsall enjoyer.
It's fun to see the guys that we want to be good being good. Harold Fannin only having one game. I'm glad he's being good. And Ricky Pearsall has stepped up after getting shot, which is crazy. Like, I mean, talk about like a bounce back, especially. Like, I mean, it is insane that he was able to.
You did not just add the gunshot sound effect in here, dude.
I didn't do that. Someone just did that. I don't know who did that.
Not Garrett.
That's crazy.
Are the Colts the Saints of year prior though?
Oh, that's a really great take, low key. And I don't want it to be.
Last year.
I don't want it to be. Who do they play next week? I don't think they play a hard opponent next week, but I want the Colts to be good.
The Broncos. They play Denver.
Hey, Denver. The Titans, I think, did not look that bad. I think Cam Ward looked really good, all things considered, because all of his receivers were dropping wide open passes. Like it was It was a tough watch. And the
I
Broncos,
don't know, man. Having a 40% pass completion is kind of crazy. I'm gonna be real.
it's not his fault, dude. All of his receivers are terrible. He's
Look,
he's throwing to Tyler Lockett's washed ass. He's throwing to Calvin Ridley's washed ass, and his star rookie receiver dropped like 6 passes.
Chigakonkwo's pretty decent though.
He's always been that's the perennial he's about to break out guy I've ever heard in my life. Like every year, Chigakonkwo is supposed to break
the
out.
GOAT.
He's supposed to break out. He never does. Sorry, Jackson. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, Garrett, the Colts could come out of your 3 to 4 week span 2-2.
This is very true. Very true.
Wait, what is the Colts what's the Colts schedule?
Broncos, Titans, Rams.
The Rams are good. I think the Rams are for real.
Regardless, I think we're talking rant. I think we're going on a lot of tangents, gentlemen.
Garrett just wants to go. Garrett just wants to go home.
I definitely don't want to go and sleep because I'm sick. I definitely don't want to do that.
We have 2 more games to talk about. Then you could go to sleep. Packers Lions. The Packers defense showed up. They were for real. I think they might be in the Super Bowl. I said that last week.
Who would have guessed after trading for one of the best players in the league that their defense would have been lights out against last year's really good offense.
And they have the youngest defense in the NFL, and it's going to be good for a while. And I think they have a lot of pass catchers to the point they don't even need Matthew Golden because he didn't even do anything, and they still did their job. But
what was that about stopping the run, Jerry? What was that about stopping the run? I don't know.
I mean, Detroit only ran it for 46 yards.
Oh, he's talking Jerry Jones and the Cowboys getting rid of Micah stopping the run. Although Javonte Williams
Micah just stopped the run in Detroit.
That's true. Especially with their 2 running backs that are really good. So I like the Packers. I would be scared to play them. We already talked about the Ravens and Bills, and I keep seeing Garrett having to mute himself as he's currently dying over there coughing. But he doesn't want to curse you Spotify listeners with a beautiful surround sound mic of his cough. So he keeps muting it. So we already talked Ravens, Bills. We know they're both good. I think I respect both. And I will say at this current point right now, hot take, I do think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes in terms of skill set right now at this very moment, week 1 of 2025. Can that change literally next week? Yes. But this is a one time, I'll admit it. Josh Allen in the Bills, you have your one moment. That was incredible. That was fun to watch. I had to root for that. That was cool. And also you guys gave me really, really good buffalo wings when I went to Bar Bill in Buffalo this past offseason. Y'all treated me very nicely. I have to respect it. If you don't respect me, that's fine, but I respect you a little bit more. But Xavier Worthy is better than Keon Coleman. I don't care, even though he is now injured and Keon Coleman looked really good. But who cares? It's just a volume thing, right? Who knows? But we're just talking Keon. We're talking Bills. We're talking everything.
We're talking
but Chop.
NFL, and we talked Chop. We talked a lot of it.
The Dolphins will be the worst team in the NFL, and the Chiefs will be the best team in the NFL when it's all said and done. Tyreek Hill will be back on the team, and we're going to have all the players we want back. One thing I do think will happen, though, is somehow, some way, Mecole Hardman is going to end up on our practice squad again, and I can't say I want that to happen, but it's probably gonna. Week 1 overreactions is over, guys. It's so fun. I can't wait for week 2 overreactions. Jackson, thanks for chilling with us while we had a little under the weather, Garrett. And it's also good to have you pop in. It's good to see your face, just in general. Guys, if you love the show, and even if you hate it, leave a comment. Let us know. It helps boost the numbers. Give it a like. Share it. Tell your grandma about us. Listen to us in the shower on Spotify. Listen to us in the car on Spotify. Give it a 5-star rating on Spotify. Go follow the Instagram. It's really the biggest channel. I don't post on TikTok, guys. I just can't do it. I can't be on TikTok too much. So go to the Instagram. Give it love. Give it all the tender love you care. It's Talkin Chop. It's Talkin Chop everywhere. We're all chop centric. And then also, do the code on the thing that Garrett has to promote.
Code CHOP, baby. $50 for free when you use $5.
On what app, Garrett? Because Spotify.
Underdog Fantasy, of course. That's the only good one.
Exactly. And as always, we're just talking shop. Can't wait for this Eagles game. We actually get to watch the whole thing. I'm going to be hammered.
Yes, sir.
Find me at the Tavern Austin.